Miki? Na ez az. Na most már van hangom, és akkor nem kell kiabálnom végig a panel alatt. Tegnap beszélgettünk egy angol színésszel és íróval, aki ma is itt van velünk. Lehet, hogy voltatok már a paneljén, de akkor gyertek el ma is, mert ma egy kicsit más témáról fogunk beszélgetni. Az úriember főleg BBC-s tévéfilmekben és kisebb-nagyobb angol filmekben játszott, aztán majd Hollywoodban is feltűnt. A legismertebb filmje, amiről talán ti is ismeritek, az a Karib-tenger kalózai és Johnny English volt. Továbbá szerepelt a Valkyrie című filmben Tom Cruise-zal, és az Assassin's Creed játékokban is adott hangot az egyik karaktere. Köszöntsétek szeretettel színpadon Kevin McNally-t!
Hello, Budapest. How are you, Budapest? Good?
A bit sleepy, I guess.
Excellent. Now, having done this yesterday, we're going to do all the same questions again.
Well, I prepared different questions, but if you want.
Okay.
I prepared some questions about acting and Hollywood and movie industry today. Like, maybe they asked yesterday, but for the ones who wasn't there, why did you choose acting as your profession?
I think because I enjoyed it the most at school, really. I remember that I got a lead in a school play, and it was the only time I looked forward to going to school, was to go and do the play. So really, and that was at the age, at the age of maybe 6. So they call it catching the bug, acting, and so I got it really early.
So this started.
But that big there.
Okay.
Or maybe there. I don't know, there or there.
Started really early. What makes a good actor?
For me, the actors I like are character actors, people who are good observers of other people, and in particular, actors who you feel are listening to the other actors that they're working with. I see a lot of actors who, do very well, but they seem to have decided everything they're going to do before they turn up. I like actors who respond to whatever's going on around them.
So improvising is a pretty good skill for being an actor?
Improvising is an important skill. You don't have to improvise to listen, though. I mean, I think what you do is you bring the skills that improvising teaches you, and then use that with the script. So you say the script as if it's the very first time you hear it. And it's a funny thing, that talent. My mum and dad, when I started acting, my mum would want to read plays with me. And she was really good, actually. But my dad was incapable of reading a line and making it sound like a human being talking. He just couldn't do it. He would put on silly voices. It was really strange. He was unable to do it. And, I like it when an actor's doing a scene with you and you go, what? And, I thought you were talking to me. I said, you're doing the scene, that they're so natural and real.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. I read that your first acting work was at the Birmingham Repertory Theatre, but after that you worked for TV series and movie shows. I guess there is different skills required for theatre work and movie works.
Yeah, the thing about theatre is that you're in control of the performance from the beginning to the end. With a television or film, you do make a contribution, but then the director and the editor have almost as much say as you do in what the performance will look like. And sometimes you can get really angry when you're really looking forward to a scene and it's been cut out. And you think, but that was my best bit,
Yeah, yeah. We always see the movies like, cut, do it again. That must be pretty frustrating. And I think the audience is interested in how should we imagine and they audition for once, because we see it in movies like what it is, but we can't really see what it's for real.
What's that?
The audition, when you are applying for a role, what does it look like real?
The most important, I teach a class of people who about film acting, and the most important thing about auditions is to go in with a really strong idea of what you want to do. That nobody wants to see a blank page, as we say. Have a really strong idea of what you want to do. And usually, the person who's auditioning you doesn't know what they want either. So they're waiting for somebody to come in and go, oh, that would be really good for this part. So Always have a strong idea.
Thank you so much. We read and
Couldn't you have put a clean shirt on this morning?
No, I was painting.
Come straight from decorating
look,
at home.
I was painting, and I came like this today. I woke up like this.
Very nice pajamas.
Thank you so much. It's really comfortable. You also played in series like Supernatural and Doctor Who. Yes, they also watched it. They also
4,
like
5,
it.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fans. There we are. Hi, you cupcakes. How are you doing?
So what is the difference in filming a series and in filming Hollywood big productions like Pirates of the Caribbean, for example?
They're exactly the same, but the cock-ups are bigger. Do you have that phrase, cock-ups, when things go wrong?
Yes.
In a TV, the mistakes will be small, but in a big movie, they'll be massive, and everyone will get really upset.
Oh.
But essentially, it's the same thing. I was talking to a guy last night about this, actually, that all over the world, wherever you go, a film set is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Whatever language or whatever country you work in, the same crews, the same actors, and the same attitudes. It's a real sort of brotherhood around the planet, I think.
So it's pretty much the same in Hollywood and in Europe, because you filmed in both continents. Yeah,
very much so. They probably pay a little bit more in Hollywood, certainly than they do here in Budapest. I've worked here about 3 times. Very often, I've worked here a lot filming for Budapest as Paris.
Yes.
It's used as Paris a
wow.
lot. Yeah, I think because Paris is very hard to film in. Mm-hmm. So they come here a lot because it's roomier. The city's roomier.
Which movies did you film here?
Well, I did a TV show called May Gray. I did a show about Stalin, the Soviet leader, and something else that I can't remember now. It was about 30 years ago. It was the first time I came here, so
wow.
It was a very long time ago.
So you came here Budapest before. Did you like it?
Did
you like Budapest before? And
from the moment I came here, I loved it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful city. Absolutely beautiful.
And you, just a little bit off topic.
Hold on, you missed a round of applause there.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes,
there we are.
yes. I heard a lot.
I actually spent more time on this trip over in Buda than being in Pest, as you say.
So this time when you stay here, you should spend a little bit more time in Pest too.
Yes, I should, yes. I will. Next time I'll do that.
Yeah, okay.
When you invite me again.
We will.
Good.
I will arrange it.
Sort that out for me, would you?
Tell me about your most challenging role.
Tell me what?
The most challenging role that you ever played.
The most challenging roles are always stage roles. And particularly Shakespeare, I find very tough. It's satisfying, but it's very tough because you go on stage for 3 hours, and particularly if you're playing a lead role. And I played King Lear recently, who is an old man, and I was 60 myself, a bit too young to play him actually, but that was very tiring, and you can't do it 8 times a week. It's just too exhausting. So maybe 5 or 6 times a week. But definitely theatre's the hardest. One forgets in film that you have lots of time off in between shots when you can just sit, and sun yourself in the Caribbean or walk around Buda Castle, So it's my favorite filming, really.
Yeah. You mentioned Shakespeare and some historical characters. How do you prepare for these historical roles? Do you read? Yes, you have water. Do you read after these characters to get more inspiration?
Do you mean preparing for Shakespearean roles?
For Shakespearean or for other historical roles? You mentioned the Stalin
historical,
film.
Yeah.
Yes,
The important thing with Shakespeare, it's sort of the opposite, really. With filming, I research a character and then learn the lines. But with Shakespeare, because it's written as poetry, learning the lines is the first thing to do, because you only get the sense of what the characters are saying through the verse. So it's sort of the opposite when you're doing classics. historical roles, obviously, I have actually played a prime minister from the 1960s recently. And so nowadays, with YouTube and all of that, it's a joy because you can just type in a person's name and you can see them, you can hear them, you can get really good research going. It was more difficult before the internet.
Yes, I just checked my notes.
Look, I've bored those two girls. Yeah. She's saying, look, she's saying, God, he's boring, isn't he? He just keeps talking about acting all the time.
I don't know why we are doing this. Why are we talking about acting? It's more important that we are talking about Budapest and delicacies.
Do you think it's time for some questions?
Yes, it is. It is. About voice acting. Okay, you managed to do it. Okay. You mentioned yesterday that you love voice acting and you also
do love it.
did
I do love it. When you have to do everything through your voice. Yes. Where you don't have your face and you don't have your body to help you. You do everything through the voice. And you can be really big when you're a voice actor. You can quite overact, which I really love. I love overacting, as you can tell from Pirates of the Caribbean, probably. I think that woman just told me to shut up. Or was she talking to somebody else?
Don't tell her to shut up. Yeah. Did you ever play the Assassin's Creed game?
Did I ever play who?
Yeah, the Assassin's Creed game that you voice acted.
I don't understand what you're saying to me. Are you speaking in Hungarian?
No, I try English, but I'm really bad at it. So the Assassin's Creed game that you voice acted, did you ever play it? Like the video game?
Oh,
yes.
No.
No.
As you can see from my age, I'm of the generation who just used a mouse and a keyboard. So if you put an Xbox in front of me, I'm completely flummoxed. I don't know what to do with it. I can never hit anybody in the head with my gun or my arrow, because it just keeps going like that. It drives me up the wall, it really does. So I stopped playing video games about 10 years ago, I think. So I've actually never even seen a video game that I was in.
Don't worry, I don't even.
Oh,
I'm a generation.
Good girl.
I just can't shoot an arrows with the video games, so I must.
I see that there's lots of video gamers here. I should maybe go and get a lesson or something.
Yes, you do that.
I'll do that.
Yes.
Questions?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yesterday you told us that you tried Tokai. Did you try the Formint already?
I don't know what it was I was drinking last night, but
it was good.
I should have stopped about 2 hours earlier than I did. Because I'm just in a haze this morning.
Yes.
And I must have been shouting in the street because I've lost my voice. You know, my voice is really croaky today. I was probably walking on the street going,
just like a real pirate would.
It's great.
Just like a real pirate would.
Yeah, exactly, like a real pirate, yeah.
Should we ask the audience about some questions, if they have any?
Yeah, come on, ask me some questions.
Gyertek nyugodtan ide, valaki majd hozzá a mikrofont, és akkor tudtok kérdezni.
And we've got a little thing that every time somebody comes up to ask a question, they have to get a round of applause for being brave.
Yes. De nyugodtan gyertek ki, legyetek bátrak, kérdezzetek nyugodtan, hogyha valaki nem biztos az angolban, mert nem tud angolul, az is jöjjön nyugodtan, mert tudunk segíteni, fordítani. És akkor gyertek csak nyugodtan, bármiről.
Hi. Do you have any advice for anyone who wants to start acting?
Yeah, just take classes as soon as possible and try to get on stage and do something. Because I think the best way to learn it is by doing it. So, yeah, definitely. If it's at school or, you know, if there are classes locally to you, do that. You're welcome.
Thanks for being here, sir.
Hi.
So, my question is, what is your favorite movie? And what is your biggest inspiration in your acting?
Well, my favorite movie is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Which I've probably seen 2001 times, I must say. The inspiration for me really was in the 50s and the 60s. Up till that point, acting had been a profession for, shall we say, sort of higher class people. And it was only in the 50s and the 60s that working class people started to be able to have careers as actors. And I came from a working class background. And so I was inspired by people like Richard Burton and Peter O'Toole and Richard Harris, people who some of whom I got to know towards the end of their lives, which was a great thrill for me. But those are the people who inspired me. Clap, stop. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Hello there, how are you?
My question is, I'm a massive Doctor Who fan, and what is it like to being with Jodie and Mandip and John on Doctor Who?
Oh, it was wonderful, particularly because I did know going in that a lot of fans had been disappointed with the last series, and I felt that you're not one of those people. Great. Well, I just thought that the script was so fantastic. I knew in my heart of hearts that it was going to be really, really good. And it was such a great part to play. And Jodie is one of the most energetic people you will ever meet. She does not stop all day. So she really makes you keep up, you know, and keep working and keep thinking. So very enjoyable experience.
And were you scared of the weeping angels? Are you scared of them?
Terrified. They're terrifying. Particularly as outside, when I first saw them, they had a load of weeping angels, but they didn't tell me about 3 of them were women made up. So I went out to have a look at them, and one of them went like this. And I nearly evacuated my bowels and wet myself. I've never been so scared in my life.
And I was really sad that your character died. Spoiler alert, sorry.
Yeah. You're supposed to do the spoiler alert before you do the spoiler.
I always mix up the tenses, yeah.
Well, did you see the body? Think on that.
Good question, yeah. Well, I would love to come, if you ever come back from the story. I really like your character. And
thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your participation.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Getting better.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Nati. And how do you think the acting is hard? Because I tried and I can't.
It's hard at the beginning. But if you're lucky and manage to do some work, with everything you do, it gets slightly easier. So all I can do is wish you the very best of luck, as will the rest of our audience, for our new young actress here. Enthusiasm. Does that answer your question? No.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you very much.
You're named after a sauce, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Well,
salsa,
yes,
I think, yeah.
But it just means sauce in Spanish, so...
Oh, I see, okay, right.
I'm just simply sauce.
All right.
So, as someone who likes voice acting, prefers voice acting, and you've been in both audio dramas and on screen in Doctor Who, which do you prefer?
Well, I have to say I prefer acting on camera. But in answer to both your questions, I have been approached to maybe do some audio plays of Eustachius Jericho in Doctor Who. They're going to tell some stories of his, and we're going to try to do that later in the year. You know, back in the 60s when when we find him in the TV show. So, but I would much rather do the whole thing. But it will be fun. It will, if that's the only way I can revive the character, I shall look forward to doing that, yeah.
And would you be interested in playing the 14th Doctor now that Jodie is going to leave soon?
Well, I think they've had an old bloke doctor recently, and I don't think they'll be having another old bloke doctor. I'm not, pardon?
Facts, that's true.
Round of applause for that old geezer. Oh, it's you. Hello. How you doing? I'm not so sure, actually, that I would want to play that, because there's so much pressure on the person who plays the doctor. People can be really vitriolic about them. They can be really unpleasant. And I just like coming in and playing, a really nice character role and then buggering off and doing something else, rather than doing the same thing for 3 years,
That's fair. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Salsa. Getting sloppy.
Hello.
Hello.
We have 2 questions for you, and
Yeah.
it's about the new sequel of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It will be the 6th movie of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, this is the first I've heard of it.
I wanted to ask, I didn't hear you. What was the 6th movie?
I don't know if there'll even be one. I personally suspect not. It's been the longest time between films. It was 7 years ago that we made the last one, and for all sorts of reasons, I don't think Disney have the... I mean, for 2 years they've been talking about whether they will or won't, but I've never heard a plan that I've thought, oh, that might work. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Mr. Gibbs is the only person in the film. Actually, it's very funny. For the last 20 years, whenever I meet people and they find out that I'm Mr. Gibbs, they always say, oh, is there going to be a new pirate film? And I say, yes. And they say, is Johnny Depp in it? And I go, no, it's just me. It's the stupidest question I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, we can't wait.
Okay. Well, for you, then I hope it happens.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hold on.
My question is, I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
That's all right.
How
No
do
need to
you
be
make
nervous.
acting so realistic? Like, are you practicing every night or something like that?
No. No. I think acting is a bit like building a building. You have a lot of, scaffolding that they put around a building when they're building it. And they put, and you put the performance together. But then the job is to take all that work away. And it just looks like you're making it up as you go along. But you can't do that unless you prepare well. So, but I certainly don't go home and practice acting every night. No, that would be silly. But thank you for the question. It's a very good one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hi.
Hello.
So, I'm not sure if you heard that Supernatural has now prequel. I mean, they are starting to shoot it soon. So, I was just curious if they would shoot more of the untold stories your character might be in it.
Well, they haven't, I spent the last 3 seasons of Supernatural waiting for them to give me a call and for me to turn up. But it turns out I genuinely was eaten by leviathans. But I only realized that when the series ended. Who knows if they'll want to bring me back at some point? I don't know. I'll be busy with something else then.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. A bit tired. Okay, my question is, when you are playing a character, when you are acting in a series or in a film, how do you get involved in a film? And also, do you have a choice to choose which character would you like to play? And also about the outfit, that is your costume. I mean, in the Pirates of the Caribbean, you played Mr. Gibbs. Did you choose that character and also the outfit, or they just put these clothes on?
No, it's a collaboration between you and the designer and the director. I must say that I've very rarely had people give me a script and say, which part do you want to play? Usually you know what part you're being considered for or they're offering you. But definitely things like the character's backstory and the way they look and the makeup, that's something you have meetings with makeup and costume to decide those things. So it's very much a collaboration, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
First of all, thank you for being here. And
My pleasure.
I'd like to ask you about the whole child acting stuff. We hear a lot of horror stories about these things. And I'd like to know if you think it was more of a pleasant experience or a lot of hardship or...
I think it's very good that people are addressing the possibility of abuse of children, whether it just be making them work too long hours or not schooling them. I think it's tough. And I also think it's very rare that child actors become grown-up actors, because I think they're different skills. It's like children are tricked into doing a performance, you know. I had to work with a young girl once, and one of the problems is they can sound like they're saying lines, you know. So we came up with an idea, me and the director, that he would tell me what he wanted her to say, and then he would just put the camera on her, and I would talk to her and try to make her say the things that he wanted. But I personally, when there are children on the set, make sure that they are well looked after and that, you know, they're not exhausted and certainly not abused in any way. I think there have been horror stories about old Hollywood that I'd best not go into, really. It'll bring the whole tone of the Comic-Con down. But I think you have to be careful in any job with children, you know. I'm surprised in a way, you know, in the way that teachers have to be cleared to work with children, that there isn't something like that in the movies. I think it would just be unpractical, but I think that answers. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Good.
thank you.
Why are you thinking of becoming a child actor?
Maybe I try it in my next life.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you here.
Hello, how are you too?
I'd like to ask, it's not about acting or performing, that when you had to do a big change in your life, how did you get through the hard times? When you had a bad feeling or you were sad or something?
Do you mean in terms of work or just in general?
In general.
I've been really lucky. I've had a really easy life. I have a very positive view on life, positive nature. I think if you are having a bad time in life, you need good friends is what you need. And I think if ever there is something going on or you're feeling a bit down, then you've got to turn to your good friends, and I hope you find that you have good friends when that happens.
Thank you so much.
You're
Have
welcome.
a good day.
You too.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is that yesterday we were talking about Star Wars, and I would like to know if there are any Star Wars voices you can do, and which movie is your favorite from Star Wars?
Well, I love the first two films. I can't. Well, I suppose I can talk a little bit like C-3PO. Doesn't he talk like that? Oh, R2, you are a fool. Doesn't he talk like that? And as I did yesterday, I like those rubber guys who go, I like those guys. That's R2-D2 there for you. Oh, and I did harbor delusions when I was a young man that I would play Obi-Wan Kenobi one day. Because I do like to talk like Obi-Wan. These are not the people from Hungary that you're looking for. I felt a great disturbance in the Force. It turns out I just had too much goulash.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
It's really nice to meet you.
You too.
And my question is that do you ever get stage fright, and how do you overcome it?
I did get stage fright in the 1980s. Most actors go through it at some point. getting very nervous. But I get nervous before I go on for my first performance or two. The trick is to turn that anxiety or nervousness into focus to do the play well. I don't trust actors who tell me they never get nervous, because I think that's it's too relaxed, particularly at the beginning when you're starting to learn how to do a role. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions. The one is how much time to get in Hungary, and the second one is you was in Hungary before. That's the second one.
Okay, yes, I've been in Hungary 5 times. I thought you'd ask me how long I take to get hungry, because it's usually about 5 hours and I'm desperate for something to eat. No, I've been here, this is my 5th trip to Hungary. Is that what you're asking, how many times I've been here?
Yes.
5 is the answer.
Thanks.
Thank you for your question.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is that the film industry is a very big industry, and in it there is a lot of people who are working in it, like the producers, the actors, the designers, everybody. Yes. And we are a little country here, and a lot of children think that, oh, the film industry to go America, to go anywhere, to Hollywood, to Disney, to anywhere, it's really hard to get there, and they just give up. So what do you think? It's hard for us, for the children to get in this film industry. How many work we need to put it? Or is this so we could do it or not? What is your advice, these children?
Well, I don't think there's anywhere in the world where it's easy to get into the film industry. Hungary, I know, has a wonderful crews, a wonderful film crews, and I would say, wherever you are in the world, it's always best to start out as an actor in your own culture, because it's the culture you know best. So I would say to the young people who want to be in the film industry, just work at it and keep working hard. It's the only advice I can give you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Engem az érdekelne igazából, hogy a hétköznapokban milyen a valódi temperamentumod, és hogy milyen vagy civilben, otthon, milyen a jellemed.
Okay, her question is that how are you when you are not acting? What is your temperament when you are in civil? When you are with your family.
You're supposed to be translating this, not
yes,
making it even more confusing.
I'm sorry. So she's asking, what are you when you are around friends or family? Is it different when you are on stage with people?
I don't think so. I think people, yeah, I'm the same all the time, I think. A joker. And I like to have fun.
I can see that.
So, the same, really.
A második kérdésem az lenne, hogyha az élettapasztalatait így összesűríti, akkor van-e olyan eszencia, amit egyébként továbbadna? Tudod, olyasmi, mint amikor valaki, tudod, a halálos ágyán már fekszik, és akkor még az utolsó mondatot elmondhatja, hogy egy ilyen eszenciába össze tudná sűríteni egy életbölcseletet, amit szívesen továbbadna.
Okay, let me think a bit. She is asking about like one essential thing that you would like to share about your lifetime, like this one sentence that you would sum up all of your advices.
It's been bloody long. It's been years, and I'm exhausted. I don't know. I don't think I'm the person to come to for life advice. I can help you with acting. I can help you with that. But everybody's different, and I wouldn't dream of trying to advise people on how to be happy or how to live their life. Otherwise, I'd make a fortune on the television doing it, or in the papers, you know. Yes, you will be very happy today. You will
write horoscopes.
Yeah, horoscope. Yeah.
A harmadik kérdésem az lenne, hogy ha 3 dolgot meg lehetne fogalmazni, olyan értéket, amit egy másik emberben keres, akkor melyik lenne az a 3?
If you are looking for some values in a person, what would be them the 3 values that you look most forward to when you're meeting a person?
In a person?
Yes.
Friendly, constructive, and fun. Friendly, constructive, and fun.
És az utolsó kérdésem az lenne, hogy ha picit így becsukja a szemét, vagy becsukod a szemedet, és igazán elgondolkodsz, melyik lenne az az illat, ami legboldogabbá tesz?
Okay, if you are closing your eyes and get relaxed, what would be your favorite scent that makes you the most happy?
Favorite what?
Scent. Smell.
Smell?
Smell, scent, yes. Like flowers or perfume or...
Goulash.
Goulash. Did you have goulash last night?
I like me that goulash. Thank you, you're welcome. That's 4 answers you've had out of me now.
Hello, glad to meet you.
Hi there, you too.
I want to ask about your opinion or thoughts about a random gaming company making a Pirates of the Caribbean scenes, taking the license and making a contract with Disney and making it into the Sea of Thieves game. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I know absolutely nothing about it. I can tell you that trying to do deals with Disney will probably be the hardest thing anybody could ever manage in the world. They are very protective of their rights and stuff. So I would tell that person to forget it and try to invent their own game, if you see what I mean. I think it would be very difficult.
And that's why I ask, what are your thoughts or your thoughts that one gaming industry made it possible so they will made it, because if I saw you made the voice acting to that game and also they become a reality.
Yes, if I understand you, I mean, all of those are only because I play Mr. Gibbs. So you must remember, as I said before, I can't play any of these games, so I really know nothing about them because they're too complicated. But I am going to try to get a lesson today. I'm going to get somebody to teach me how to use an Xbox or a PlayStation 5. I'm sorry I can't be more helpful to you.
Yeah, I got you answered my questions.
All right, great.
Okay,
thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Hold on, you know there's a girl who looks exactly like you over there.
Yes. My new question is, do you say something in Hungarian like Szeretlek Magyarország? Do you say something in Hungarian like Szeretlek Magyarország?
Can you say something in Hungarian? She's asking like Szeretlek Magyarország, I love you Magyarország.
No.
We talked about this yesterday.
I've tried to learn the word thank you for the past 5 years and I still can't remember what it is.
Köszönöm.
Köszönöm, that's it. Köszönöm.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Oh, I know another word in Hungarian. Goulash.
You know that really well.
Over the course of the Caribbean movies, your character was one of the unsung heroes, in my opinion, because you made the whole world, all of the movies, very lived in, and I really loved that aspect. I was curious how much of it was sense memory, how much of it was direction?
Well, again, it's collaboration. It's a bit of both. You know, I come up with ideas, and the director comes up with ideas. But it was certainly obvious from the beginning that Jack Sparrow, it's very difficult for him to operate without Mr. Gibbs telling him what's going on, you know. So I knew that very much I felt like I was sort of a father figure to Jack Sparrow. And then when his real father turns up, you understand why he needs a father figure. Yeah.
Right. And my last question is, who was your favorite person to work with and who was the least favorite?
Well, obviously Johnny and Jeffrey Rush are my sort of favorite guys, go-to guys to work with. There wasn't anybody I didn't like working with on the show, so I don't really have a least favorite. But thank you.
Okay. Just one last thing popped into
Sure.
my mind. Do you have any roles that you're really looking forward to play with?
The next one.
I love that.
That's
Thank
what
you.
I'm really looking forward to. Thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you. My question is, have you ever thought about that you want to stop acting?
Have you thought that I should stop acting?
That you...
Get out.
No, I love it too much. I am, however, trying to get more into directing. I really like directing, so if I did more of that, I might do less acting, yeah.
That's nice to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought he was saying, Mr. McNally, why don't you give up acting?
He wasn't saying that.
Hi, Lee. How are you?
Good day to you, sir.
Hello.
Thank you. My question is, acting, is it a healthy or non-healthy profession, like in stress, traveling and such?
Well, the only answer I can give to that is I know it's a lot less stressful than people who do jobs they don't like. That would seem to be the worst situation to be in. And I know that my father, for instance, very early on knocked any sort of stupidity out of me when I complained about a job once. And he actually hit me around the head and said if I could have had a job when they picked me up in a car, put me in a trailer, asked me what I want to eat, and then apologized because I don't have to work that day, I'd have loved a job like that. Instead, I did for 60 years a job that I hated. So I think it's very important to try to get some satisfaction from your work. That hating a job is what will give you stress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Kevin.
Hello.
What was the biggest sacrifice you had to make for acting?
The biggest sacrifice? I can't think of any sacrifices. It's all just been giving to me. I felt that it's always given me back more than I've put into it. So I can't think of a sacrifice, really. I guess one of the things on Pirates was a sacrifice was, in order to be a pirate, I had to throw up 3 times a day on a ship. That's maybe the biggest sacrifice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Az előbb még elfelejtettem megkérdezni.
She's back. 4 questions.
Ha már itt vagyunk, hogy ha lenne olyan dolog még, amit az életben így a bakancslistára feltenne, akkor olyan van-e még?
And she's Hungarian and she doesn't understand what's going
I
on.
don't know the English word for it. I know that there is, but I don't know. Bucket list, thank you. If there is anything you would put on your bucket list, what would it be?
Well, I have a bucket list that I've been clicking off over the years. I managed to be in a cowboy film last year. And now the last thing left on my bucket list is to be in a space film. And when you read my book that you bought yesterday, I want it to be in that one, when I make a film of that. No. If you need more books, come to Lexington, Kentucky next week, where I'm having some more delivered, okay?
Hello, my
Hello.
question is, do you like sports, like football or something? Do you have a favorite one?
No.
Sad. It's really sad.
I hate sports with a passion.
Oh, I'm sad to hear it.
But you do sports play. That's a kind of sport.
What's that?
You can do the sports. That's kind of a sport, like sword play and fighting, like a pirate.
Oh, yes, yes.
With a stick.
Well, that's as near as I get to sport. Fighting and sword fighting, yes. I don't know how people have the time to follow a football team every week. I just don't have the time. The only thing I ever watch is the big international tournaments. I will watch, you know, England or Ireland play, you know, places that I have some interest in. But no, I'm not. Well, I mean, look at my legs, for instance. You know, this is a man who's never played football. Look at that. These are matchsticks. These would snap if I tried to play football.
Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
Another question came to my mind. What are the disadvantages of being an actor?
I think people make lots of assumptions. Some people make assumptions about you. I remember meeting a woman saying, well, but you're an actor, so you're acting all the time, aren't you? Which is a sort of a meaningless statement, you know, because acting is a craft in which you get over ideas to other people. It's not like pretending to be somebody else all the time. You are who you are. It also, in the days of social media, you can have, you know, trolls. Do you call them trolls over here? People who just want to be rude to you on social media through jealousy or whatever it is, I don't know. So those are the only, but they're very minor disadvantages compared to the advantages, you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Howdy.
Hey. Since 2001, A Space Odyssey is your favorite movie, and considering that you're an older gentleman, did you happen to catch the moon landing live on TV?
I had the most fortunate luck. Back in the days of the moon landing, everybody had one television in their house, and it was black and white, and it was in the living room. And they landed on the moon at about 4 in the morning at London time. And my mum and dad decided they were going to decorate the living room. And they said, we're going to put the television in your room. So I just lay in bed all night with the sound really low, watching the moon landing. It was so lucky, because I don't think they would have let me stay up to watch it. So I was very lucky.
And how did that make you feel, watching something that it would have felt surreal at the time?
Well, as you can probably guess, with the sort of science fiction and stuff that I love, I was completely besotted with the moon program, with Gemini beforehand, Mercury before that. So it was something that I'd been building up to for years, knowing that eventually they were going to try to put a man on the moon. And it was thrilling, utterly thrilling, to see live pictures. You very seldom saw live pictures of anything going on Earth. So to see live pictures of people walking on our satellite was incredible. I heard somebody give a great comeback to a silly moon hoax, a lunar landing hoaxer. And he said to him, it was a panel like this, he said, but everybody knows that the moon landing was faked by Stanley Kubrick. And the guy said to him, yes, that's right, but Stanley Kubrick was such a perfectionist, he went to the moon to do it.
Part of that hoax was that in The Shining, the carpet, it kind of looks like a spaceship, so they're like, that's him putting hints in there, which is just ridiculous.
We have a word for that sort of thing in England, it's called bollocks.
Ah, I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah, great, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming, and I'll see you at the table there.
See you over there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering our questions. You will have the signings at 1 p.m., if I'm remembering right. Okay, Köszönjük szépen, hogy itt voltatok velünk, és meghallgattátok Kevin McNallyt. 1 órakor lesz majd dedikálása az EA épületben, oda tudtok majd jönni, tudtok tőle képet kérni, és köszönjük, hogy itt voltatok.
Thank you and goodbye. See you later.